It is January 14th, almost the middle of the month already. We're moving right along. And good morning. This is Wayne Goldsboro TV. Wayne Goldsboro TV is WGTV, and this is Today. Hello, I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best. Good morning. Thank you for joining us this Monday morning.
Oh, boy, what a great weekend. I tell you, the weather was nice, and it looks like we're going to go through a period of some nice weather here, and that's always good news.
It is. You know, it's like a roller coaster ride. We talk about it all the time. We never know if we're going to need a coat.
You know, it is. A couple of days back, last week, there were some really cold days. We got down into the 20s.
Actually felt like winter.
It really did. Go figure that. Here it is, January. I guess it's supposed to feel like winter, isn't it? Yes,
it certainly is.
Okay, but anyway, moving along, you know, I don't recall halfway point, but we're moving towards springtime, and I can't wait.
I know. It'll be here before we know it.
I know it will. Anyway, moving on. Today's the 14th.
That's right. On today's show.
Yes.
On today's show, we have part 2 of the Battle of Goldsboro Bridge.
Oh, good. Okay.
And I believe you spoke with Grover Hood from the Soil and Water Conservation.
Talked with Grover. I've known Grover many years, and a lot of people don't know what the Soil and Water Conservation Program or office is or what they do, and he's going to tell us about it. And I'll tell you right now, it's not a place where you pay your water bill.
No.
That's not what people confuse that. Grover mentions that, but we're going to find out what that's all about.
And then, of course, you spoke with somebody from the Wayne County Museum.
I talked with Brantley Parton over at the museum. He's director over there. And I tell you, every time I go in there, I'm just amazed at everything that's in our Wayne County Museum. If you at all enjoy things from the past, if you enjoy history, if you enjoy artifacts, if you enjoy knowing and finding out about the part Wayne County citizens played during the Civil War, during Korea, during World War I or II, this is a great place to go and just see the artifacts and see the things available to look at and enjoy.
And I think they'll be pleasantly surprised if you haven't been in a while.
That's exactly right. You know, I enjoy some of the old uniforms in there, from the military uniforms that are in there, and some of the old artifacts that are there. Just, you got to go, and you'll find out about a lot of this. Have you seen that dollhouse?
No, I heard about it, but I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, my goodness. Wait till you see this dollhouse at the Wayne County Museum. It's amazing.
Is it rather large?
It's and
intricate?
Got to be about this wide, and it's about this high.
You going to tell us why it's there, or we have to go see that for ourselves?
You kind of have to wait, and we'll talk about it on the program.
Okay. Right? Well, we'll wait and hear about it then.
It's beautiful, just beautiful. All right, let's see what we have today. January 14th is National Dress Up Your Pet Day.
A lot of people do that anyway.
A lot of people do that anyway, but nobody asks the pet how they feel about it, or even if the pet wants to do it. Sometimes you can tell the pet doesn't want to do it, but I don't know.
Some enjoy it.
Some pets do enjoy it. Some of them do, wearing the little sweaters and the little hats and the little shoes, carrying a little cane, a little purse, and a little cane and top hat, and singing the song, way down upon the Swanee River. No, it's also National Hot Pastrami Sandwich Day.
Okay.
Oh boy. It's also Great Fruitcake Toss Day, beginning today in Manitou Springs, Colorado. It's the Great Fruitcake Toss. Okay.
Did they have those left over from Christmas?
I think that's the idea.
I bet so.
All right. Today is also Today.
Excuse me?
Today is Today Day. NBC TV starting the Today program this day, 1952. The first host, of course, was Dave Garroway. Peace.
I don't remember him.
He would say, I know. Well, 1952 goes back a few years. I do remember Dave Garroway. Later hosts included John Chancellor, Betsy Palmer, Hugh Downs, Florence Henderson, Tom Brokaw, Barbara Walters, or Baba Wawa, and Brian Gumble, Jane Pauley, Matt Rara, Katie Couric, and a chimpanzee was on with, I'm serious, Dave Garroway had a co-host, J. Fred Muggs was his name. He was a chimpanzee. I'm serious.
I'm not surprised.
It was the first co-host.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Right. J. Fred Muggs. Today is also Army Day, a national day in Uzbekistan. So if you live in Uzbekistan, if you're watching us on the web there in Uzbekistan, peace. All right. What else is going on?
Well, Mount Olive College is having their campus visitation day on Monday, January 21st.
Okay.
That's next Monday.
Yes.
From 9 until 2 p.m. at Mount Olive College. All high school seniors and juniors and their parents are invited to come and tour the campus and meet with instructors and meet with coaches, and you have free lunch. They want to just talk with you about what Mount Olive College has to offer your child and all the opportunities that they have right there in Mount Olive, North Carolina and surrounding campuses. So that is January 21st.
January 21st.
That's right.
Good. That's good. Okay. Coming up on the 15th of January, that's tomorrow.
Yes, it is.
Because today's the 14th.
That's right.
Tomorrow, Aaron McAuliffe, director of the Wayne County Services on Aging, says a new to Medicare is the title.
Oh, yeah.
New to Medicare class will be held tomorrow at the Seeger Senior Center on East Ash Street tomorrow from 4 until 6 p.m. So if you're new to Medicare, if you're just getting on board with that, and you're thinking, gee, what is this all about? I can't keep up. Part A, Part B, Part D, Part C. What is that all about? Well, you can find out at the New to Medicare class tomorrow, 4 to 6 p.m. at the Senior Center on East Ash Street.
Very good.
All right.
We also have a one-man variety show coming up on Friday, January the 18th. That's this weekend. 7:30 p.m. at the Paramount Theater. It's a one-man variety show. It will be presented by Robert Post, a physical comedian with a theatrical mind. He has dry humor. He blends mime, versatile acting, and juggling with satire and its absurdity. His show is featured at Broadway's New Victory Theater, and they got rave reviews. Matt Lauer from Today's Show said, "I just love his dry humor. He is absolutely insane and hilarious. It's a must-see." So it sounds like he is a must-see, and that is this weekend, Friday, January 18th at 7:30 at the Paramount Theater.
All right. Are you a calorie counter? Do you?
No, but I should.
Well, okay. Well, I'll ask you a few questions here.
Okay,
I bet you
ask
know
me.
more than you think you know.
Okay.
Which has the fewer amount of calories? A cup of rice pilaf or a cup of cream spinach, which has fewer calories?
Cream spinach has probably, a lot? Because of the cream?
Well, that's what I thought, but that's not the case.
Really?
It seems that a cup of rice pilaf has 220 calories and a cup
Okay.
of cream spinach only 140 calories.
That word cream messes you up because
It
you wonder how
did
much
me,
cream
yeah.
they pour in there.
How about 2 tablespoons of crab dip or 2 tablespoons of guacamole, which has the fewer amount of calories?
Guacamole?
Guacamole has
Yes.
50 calories, 2 tablespoons of crab dip, 95. Fewer calories, 1 grilled salmon fillet or 1 pork loin.
Port loin?
Oh, pork loin. Actually, you're right again. Very good. Pork loin, 5 ounces of pork loin has 200 calories, while 1 grilled salmon fillet, 250 calories. What about a slice of pecan pie or a piece of chocolate cake with frosting? Which has the fewer number of calories?
Pecan pie? I don't know.
Actually, it's
They
a
both
chocolate
just
cake
sound-
with frosting. I know
How
that's-
in the world?
No, pecan pie, 452 calories in 1 slice. Woo! And
How many of those did we have over the Christmas holidays?
2 doggone many. A piece of chocolate cake with frosting, 235 calories. Almost half.
Go figure that.
In fact, right at half. I know. 2 cocktail meatballs or 2 deviled egg halves, which would have the fewer number of calories.
The meatballs?
Meatballs or egg halves. Meatballs
Yeah, I don't
is
know.
right.
Is it?
Yeah. Egg halves, 98 calories, 2
I'm just
cocktail
thinking about the
meatballs.
mayonnaise and all the other things that you add to the deviled eggs.
That's it, exactly. 75 calories on the meatballs. Okay, here's another one. And I'll only ask a couple more here. An ounce of pretzels or an ounce of veggie chips? Pretzels or veggie chips?
Pretzels.
Pretzels, 110 calories. Chips, 120 calories.
It doesn't matter if they call them veggie or not. They're still chips.
They're still chips, that's right. Okay, 2 cubes of Gouda cheese or 2 mini mozzarella balls?
What was the first cheese?
Gouda.
Let's say mozzarella balls. I don't know.
Okay, that's exactly right. Mozzarella balls, 140 calories. Gouda cheese, 200 calories. All right, one more. Here's a good one. 1 serving of meat lasagna or 1 serving of penne with vodka sauce.
Penne with vodka sauce.
Penne with vodka sauce, thank you.
Yeah, I'd say the penne with vodka sauce.
The penne with vodka sauce has almost twice as many calories.
It is so good.
And the meat lasagna, 400
Really?
calories per serving, and a serving of penne with vodka sauce, 842
I
calories.
guess it depends on what you put in your meat lasagna
It
sauce. If
certainly
you put in all
does.
that ricotta cheese and all that,
Yeah.
like I like.
Yeah.
That would be the most.
All right.
Wow.
Well, let's go fight a battle out at the. Is that what we're doing? Yeah, we're doing that today.
Yes, we are. We've got part 2 of Goldsboro Battlefield Bridge, and then that'll be first up, and then we'll hear from Grover Lewis from Soil and Water Conservation and the Wayne County Museum a little bit later. But first, let's go to the Battle of Goldsboro Bridge.
When I was a young kid, you know, I'd always had a big fascination with warfare and stuff like that. And then I can remember one day when I was in 3rd grade, a kid came into my classroom and he said, you know, oh, today's the day that this battle was fought. I was like, oh, well, what's that? And he started telling me about it, and I was like, I never heard of that. And then I just kind of got involved in it. And then when I became a high school student, my freshman year, I met a teacher that was a reenactor, and he got me involved in it, and that's just taking off from there. The uniform I'm wearing here is what a sergeant in the North Carolina Regiment would have been wearing at the time of the Civil War, right about 1862. And it's a dress frock coat and state-issue trousers and a state-issue hat. And I have everything that I'm wearing here would be issued by the state of North Carolina.
Hi, how's it going? I'm Randy Allen. I'm a reenactor with the Liberty Rifles, Living Historians. And this weekend, though, we're portraying members of the 9th New Jersey, the Muskrats. They're from around Trenton and Camden, New Jersey. Came all the way down, based out of New Bern. Came up here and fought at Goldsboro Bridge in '62, 150 years ago. What we have today, we're just looking at some of the things a soldier would have had with him on campaign. Stuff to keep himself fed, warm, functioning as an infantryman, and also things to keep him out of trouble, keep him busy, because we all know that they didn't spend the majority of their time fighting battles. There was a lot of downtime and marching. So just working from right to left, we have our government-issued knapsack here. Now the states are funding all these troops, so New Jersey paid for my gear to fund me to come down here and talk to you fine folks. So we have my issued knapsack here, the government blanket, also a shelter half to get together with another soldier and make a little tent. Underneath we have a ground cloth as well. More often than not, though, on campaign, they're not going to even bother to set up most of these shelters, especially if the weather's fine. They'll literally throw down on the side of the road, blaze away at the fence rails, make fires, and literally sleep in their tracks. There's simply no time, and you rarely would see big tents like this except for maybe at a hospital or in a garrison. Instead, it'll be under the stars of the ground cloth. Your haversack's going to contain 3 days worth of cooked rations. Now, in our case, the famous the hardtack cracker, the hard bread, or as it's been known for generations, the infamous hard bread, called all kinds of stuff by the soldiers: teeth dullers, worm castles, bullet stoppers, a little bit of everything. So that's the famous Union hard bread. If you're a Confederate soldier, you're going to be getting cornmeal instead, just little variety there. Also, you're going to have some sort of salted meat. This is fresh beef. Actually, we got fresh beef before we left New Bern, so that's a real treat. Usually it's going to be salted meat, salt pork, salt beef. Soldiers called it salt horse because it was kind of not choice cuts of filet mignon, as you can guess. Being in New Bern, we had some time to pick up some things you might not see necessarily, wonders of modern science, some canned rations, about some tomatoes, also some essence of coffee to go to that famous coffee ration there. Things to keep yourself occupied. Of course, photography was very big during the American Civil War. We have our carte de visite, or visiting card here, of family members, and also a loved one from back home. They read a lot during the war, so newspapers, novels were devoured. They put on amateur plays, all sorts of stuff, letter writing, diary writing, so portraying some of that. And working on down the line here, we have what I need to function my job in the Civil War as an infantry soldier, just an average private in an infantry regiment. Cartridge box containing 40 rounds of ammunition, like this. Also, a belt with a cap pouch, and your bayonet right over here. Likewise, I have a 53 Enfield rifled musket. It's the standard arm for the British Army. Also, a lot of northern regiments are going to be using it, as well as the southerners especially. And also my humble fatigue blouse here, or my sack coat. Cranked out by the hundreds of thousands during the American Civil War. Cheap, easy, all-weather uniform, in addition to my flannel undershirt. So it's very warm in the wintertime, very warm in the summertime. So that's about it. That's all you'd see on campaign. Notice it's not a lot of stuff. These guys lived very hard for 4 years, especially on campaign, which is where the soldiers really making it count, especially places like here at Goldsboro Bridge.
We're with Mr. Glenn Britt of Goldsboro fame. Barbecue is his business. He is doing the special pit barbecue, which is historically correct to the early region of the county and to eastern North Carolina. How long have you been cooking pigs, Glenn?
Oh, about 25 years in Wayne County. I like to grill a little bit better than the old style, but I try to keep the dream alive that my grandfather had.
And what brought you to cooking pigs with your grandfather?
Well, they used to do a little bit of drinking at night, and when they got drunk, him and my father, I had to take over. So they taught me how to cook one real quick at a young age.
Well, some things just go well with barbecue, wouldn't you say?
In their case, yes.
What can you tell me about this box?
This box is an exact copy of a Civil War apothecary chest that was issued to the Union Army. It contains 52 medicines, of which probably 30% was no good for any use, such as flour, sugar, salt. You ever heard of the sugar-cured ham, salt-cured pork? Same analogy, but it didn't help any. It was issued with glass bottles. However, glass during traveling would break. Then they reverted over to the tin containers. It also had a drop-in tray. You had extra bandages. You had a candle for heating up the adhesive plaster, which is a forerunner of today's Band-Aid. You had to heat the glue up on it in order for it to stick. You had red flannel bandages, extra cork top bottles for any extra medicines that you would have. It's a full-size kit. Full, it would probably weigh in excess of about 50 pounds. This container is an exact copy of a amputation set, better known as a capital set. It's primarily used for bullet extractions, suturing, and amputations. The bigger kits, more elaborate kits, would be more or less for the general hospitals. When you had bladder issues like kidney stones, they would have a catheter that they could go up and drain the bladder, so maybe it would help pass the stone. The saw I'm holding in my hand is called a capital saw. It's mainly used for the bigger bones of the body, such as the femur and maybe the arm bones. And a surgeon could amputate a leg in about 15 minutes. This container is a McAvoy knapsack. It was patented in 1862. In it, an ambulance corpsman would go out with the assistant surgeon to the field dressing station or triage area, which would be about a half mile, 3/4 of a mile behind the main fighting line. Soldiers that could be helped would be brought to this station, bandaged up if they could go continue to fight, sent back if not. They were transported by ambulance to the field hospital. In this pack would contain bandages, morphine. It's just a smaller version of the apothecary chest. It didn't have quite as many medicines in it. You did have splinting material and adhesive plasters, and of course your drugs and bandages. And the next container is a version of the old-timey doctor's bag. It's made out of leather, and also in this, the doctor would have this on him. He would carry this, and this would be the more important drugs that he would have to have, painkillers. He would have a pocket surgeon set, which would contain 2 scalpels, a tenaculum, a tourniquet, and a small amputation saw that he could basically put together. All this would be stored in this, and any medical supplies, extra rags to maybe wipe his hands with. And he would have this at the forward aid station.
Very back. Thanks, how you doing? You too,
Head couples, sashay down and sashay back. Head couples to the real. Right hands to each other. Same the left hands to the opposite. Reach your body close. Sashay back. Go behind the arms, turn, go behind the arms.
Kaboom. All right. That's always interesting.
It is.
The Battle of Goldsboro Bridge there.
So that was part 2, and we've got one more part
That's
that
right.
we will see coming up, I believe, on Tuesday.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow the 15th. We'll see the part 3
That's right.
and the final segment there.
That's right.
Trivia question for today.
Okay.
All right, I can ask you the number, I suppose. You may guess or you may try to name these. How many U.S. states names end with the letter A?
Huh.
Here's a clue. One of them is North Carolina. Or
Yeah.
North Carolina, duh.
Oh gosh, that we'd have to sit down and actually count them out.
Actually count 'em out.
Alabama, Arizona, the list could go on and on and on.
And
North
it does,
Carolina,
it
South
does.
Carolina,
There's a
North
bunch.
Dakota, South Dakota. The list goes on and on. I don't know. Let's say 15.
15.
I'm guessing. I don't know.
Okay, I'm guessing too. I'm guessing I don't know either. Okay,
12.
I know the answer.
I bet you do. Oh, he's going to tell us later. He's
I'll
going
tell
to
you
make
later.
us wait.
I'll tell you later. It's not 15.
Less or more?
More.
More than 15?
More than 15. More than 15
Wow.
states names end in the letter A.
Interesting.
Yes, indeedy.
All right. Well, coming up at, let's see, Monday, January the 14th, next Monday, at Wayne Community College, we'll have the Today. That's today.
What are we doing? What's today?
Today is the 14th. We'll have the
Oh, that's right.
community health needs assessment
yeah.
report that they will be reporting on and giving a presentation on at Wayne Community College.
That's today.
That's today at 5:30. This presentation is a culmination of a year's work identifying health issues, receiving feedback from our community, our leaders and citizens, and reviewing data about Wayne County from many sources. The information will be used to plan ways to improve the health and the lives of Wayne County citizens. So if you're interested in hearing that report, it is this evening at 5:30 at Moffett Auditorium at Wayne Community College. They'd love to have you be there.
I imagine there'll be a lot of people showing
I'm
up for
quite
that.
sure.
Okay, today, the 14th of January, is Faye Dunaway's birthday.
How old is she?
She is 71 today. Jason Bateman, 43. Birthday for actress Jordan Ladd. She's 37 today. And one of my favorites, believe it or not, LL Cool J.
You like LL,
I'm a fan. You know what the LL stands for?
Nope.
Ladies Love. Cool J. James is his first name.
Really?
Yeah. LL, and I'm serious.
Who would have known?
He came up with Ladies Love Cool James. LL Cool J. All right. We've got of course, the annual blood drive between county employees and city employees coming up on January 17th. We'll tell you more about that. That's only a couple of days away now.
That's right.
That's this week. That's this Thursday.
That's right. And also
All right.
tonight, Wayne, at 7 o'clock at Wayne Community College in the cafeteria,
Yes.
the Alliance of Retired Military are meeting. It's a monthly meeting. So in the auditorium, you'll have the hospital giving their presentation for community needs, but right down the street and a little bit to the right, inside the auditorium, you will see the cafeteria, and that's where the Alliance of Retired Military will be meeting at 7 p.m. tonight. Monthly meeting.
You know, at the hospital, they have a lot of area.
Meeting areas? Yes, they do,
areas,
down in their
and it's
cafeteria.
a really great place. And if you go for dinner, the food is out of this world great.
It really is surprisingly great.
It is. It truly is. All right, let's see what we have. Oh, yeah, I talked with Grover Hood
Oh,
a
that's
couple of
right.
days ago over at the Soil and Water Conservation Office, and we're going to find out now exactly what that office does and who's doing it and what's going on over
And
there.
why they're doing it.
And why they're doing it. Here's Grover Hood. Grover, what is your title here? What do you do?
I'm the ag cost share technician.
Okay, what does that mean?
I'm kind of heading up the cost share program for the state. It's contracted monies we request to get from the state.
Okay, so are you a county employee or a state employee?
I'm listed as a county employee, but 50% of my money's funding comes from state and 50% comes from the county.
And that's not unusual in this particular building, is it?
That's
There's
correct.
others in that same.
That's correct.
That half the state, half the county.
That's correct. In fact, Andy Miller that works with us, or Jerry Miller,
Right.
he's considered a county employee, but all his funding comes from the state.
Okay. So Grover, tell me, what does the Soil and Water Conservation Office do? What are your responsibilities here?
Okay, we're kind of in charge of agriculture programs, and not necessarily all agriculture programs, but we do have some cost share money available through the state.
Mhm.
We also got some federal resources that we can tap into. Somebody's got a wash in a field or got a drainage problem. We also deal with livestock and poultry as far as doing waste plans for the operations.
Now, is this on a large scale, or is there the individual homeowner involved here? This is mainly for farming.
It's mainly farmers. We do some residential
Mhm.
also. Most of that is dealing with maybe small washes, erosion control,
Mhm.
maybe some small drainage problems. In fact, Andy handles most of that.
So is your task to as a preventer or erosion control, as you say, or do you come in after the fact, after there's a problem, and try to fix it?
Most of the time it's after the fact. And it's like anything else, it's something you could fix beforehand. Most people wait until there's already a problem and then they call us.
Yeah. So do you offer help in helping to offer preventive maintenance to keep things from washing out and prevent soil erosion?
We do. We also can come in maybe in some instances with the agriculture part. Like I said, I got cost share available, and we can actually go out and assess the problems, do the surveying for it, do designs for it, and then come back and view, maybe oversee the installation of it.
So how does the cost share work? I mean, is that state? Is that federal, or is that?
It's both. The state part, if you've got a farm, which now you either have to have file a Schedule F, which is a farm on the income tax, or if you've got that 1% tax exempt, we can also deal with that. That changed last year, October. They can come in and talk with us, and we can go out and assess the problem. And if it's something maybe that we got cost shareable practices for, we can go out and go ahead and get some needs for it, try to work a contract up. And it is on a ranking system, and it's tied in not when you come in or how old you are or how good you look, in your case, Wayne. It's tied into your needs as far as water quality.
Okay.
You've got a piece of land that's got a lot of slope on it, roads real bad, it usually ranks higher.
Okay, so ideally, people should use your services before they have a major problem. Ideally. And are there any misconceptions associated with your office? Do people think you do something that you actually don't do, or involved with something?
We get a lot of calls for people wanting to pay their water bills.
Oh, do you really?
Yes. In fact, we keep their number. Everybody, that's what she was trying to tell me. We usually keep their numbers handy.
Okay.
We had one guy that called one Friday after we closed at a church, not sure where it was, and complained about his water had been cut off, and they were trying to have services, and they needed it cut back on, and of course we got the message Monday morning. I guess it was a little too late.
Oh, wow.
So,
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
But you have nothing at all to do with the water, providing water to homes and farms throughout the community?
Just directing people where to go when they call there first.
Okay, and where should they call?
For our numbers, 919-734-5281, extension 3.
734-5281, extension 3, but that's not to pay your water bill.
That's not to pay your water bill.
All right, but that's to get information about the Wayne Soil and Water Conservation Organization here.
That's correct.
All right.
Right.
All right, now one more time that number is?
919-734-5281, extension 3.
And
I don't dial it enough to know it. I'm lucky I remember it now. I keep it on the wall back here, believe it or not.
Well, I'm getting along in years too, Grover, and I have the same problem.
Yeah, I wasn't saying that, but now that you mention it, yes.
But the Wayne Water and Soil Conservation is in the Wayne Center.
That's correct.
Here on George Street, corner of George and Chestnut in Goldsboro. Well, Grover, it's great to see you again.
Thank you.
Always good to talk to you.
So we're not going to pick on anyone else in the office but me, right?
Not with the camera on.
Okay. Charles said that was enough. So,
all right, Grover Hood of the Soil and Water Conservation Organization and agency here in Wayne County. Thank you, sir.
thank you, Wayne.
All right, now remember, you can't pay your water bill at the Soil and Water Conservation Office.
No, but isn't it interesting to hear exactly what they do?
Yes, it is. Very interesting. All right, what else is going on here?
Well, we want to remind you if you're interested in cutting your grocery bill in half. How about that?
How about that?
There's a program at Wayne County Public Library that is Saturday, January the 26th from 1:30 until 3:30. You can hear some tips and some strategies for saving money. Wayne's, besides clipping coupons, what are some ways that you know of saving money when you're grocery shopping? Just think about it for a minute. Other than clipping coupons, how else can you save money?
Well, I'm a label reader.
Are you?
I am, and when I'm shopping at the grocery store, I don't always look for the cheapest. I look for the price per unit.
Okay.
I read labels on the shelves, price per unit. Something may be less expensive as a whole,
Right.
but you may find a
buy a
different
different
volume
amount,
product that's actually less per unit, per ounce, less per ounce, less per unit. I also look for what may be a better product.
Right.
It may cost a little more, but it may last a little longer as well. So it's just
True. It may not be diluted in various reasons.
Exactly. So I do use coupons. That's one thing I do. And I guess I do a little bit of shopping as well there.
So you kind of price shop various places.
I shop various places. I do.
Well, some of the tips that we have here are make a shopping list first and foremost.
Oh yeah, always do that.
And don't shop when you're hungry.
That's a fact. Let me tell you, that's so true.
Absolutely.
Don't eat before you go. That works.
It really, and you know, when you go on a full stomach, you want to get in and get out.
That's true.
You're not interested in lollygagging.
If I go in there when I'm hungry, I always find something more that I
We all do.
hadn't planned on buying.
That's right. Keep your loyalty card current.
Yes.
You'll get points and you'll get little deductions whenever you are going through the line,
Yeah.
checking out.
Yeah.
And be brand flexible.
Yes.
You know, if you're so used to using one brand, but you see another brand may have a special,
Right.
you know, maybe not be so stuck on having to have that particular brand.
Yeah, that's something else I do. I
Really?
use a lot of house brands.
Uh-huh.
House brands.
Well, if you're interested in hearing more tips, make sure you attend the meeting, Cut Your Grocery Bill in Half, at the Public Library on Ash Street, Saturday, January 26th at 1:30.
Okay.
How about that?
Love it. Okay, it's going to be a workshop for landowners. The CEFS, Center for Environmental Farming Systems, offering a workshop entitled, it's with the 2013 Seasons of Sustainable Agriculture Workshop Series. Workshop featuring herbs and microgreens and edible flower production, tomato grafting, muscadine grape production, and beekeeping. And you can find all that information at CEFS, and you can go to the Cooperative Extension Service website or go to Cooperative Extension Service or call them to find out more about that workshop offered by CEFS.
Want to remind you, this weekend at the Paramount Theater, Fay Lane's Beauty Shop Stories
Oh boy.
will be there available this weekend. Tickets are $20 for adults, and for students, seniors, and military, they're $15. And Fay Lane is a writer-performer. She lives in New York City. But inside, she's still just that little girl, Rhonda Faye Gunnels, who grew up in her mom's Texas beauty shop. And on the front porch, this little girl used to sit with her Burger King crown and use her hairbrush as her microphone and sing and entertain all her mom's clients. So come listen to the stories that she has to say and tell you about this weekend at the Paramount Theater. Fay Lane.
Fay Lane. That's going to be a great program.
Yes, it will be.
All right, I won't list them all, but here's the answer to today's
Okay,
trivia question.
yes.
How many U.S. states' names end in the letter A? And the answer is 21.
My goodness.
21. I won't name them all, but Iowa, Louisiana, Indiana, all those. Of course, North and South Carolina, the Dakotas, West Virginia, and it goes on and on. But there's 21 states.
Well, off by 6. I said
almost
15.
that's right. You said, but it's almost half of all our states.
Surprising.
How about that?
Surprising.
All right.
Well, let's go now and hear Mr. Who'd you speak with at the Wayne County Museum?
Oh, we're going to see, as we visit the Wayne County Museum, We walked through the museum and took a lot of video there, and it'll be, I guess you could say it's narrated, if you will. I was talking with Brantley Parton, who's the director over there, and he's unable to get on camera with us, but he and I talked a lot about some of the things you see at the Wayne County Museum.
Some of the exhibits.
Yeah, check this out. Well, today, as you can see, we're visiting the Wayne County Museum at 116 North William Street, Goldsboro. And our guest today is going to walk us through everything is Brantley Parton, director of the museum here. Brantley, I hope you're doing well. Thanks for being with us.
I am. Thanks for having me.
Great. Now, give me a little background on this building. Tell me about the building, first of all.
The building is from 1927. It was built by the Goldsboro Women's Club.
Right.
It was during World War II. They loaned it out to the USO, which a lot of people in town, older folks, know it as the USO building.
Right.
And then in the 1980s, the Goldsboro Women's Club donated it to the Wayne County Historical Association, and we turned it into the museum in 1988.
So it's actually owned by the Historical Association?
Yes, we do own the building.
As we walk through the building, we've gone through the main foyer here. We see to the left, we see a series of photographs. That's the Wall of Fame.
It is. That's been done for several years now. Every couple of years, people are nominated, and a group of people choose which ones to add. And it's people from Wayne County who have made important contributions and also have represented Wayne County and Goldsboro.
And these are people who have made had a big effect on Wayne County as well as the U.S. of A.
That's true. Some people you'd recognize Seymour Johnson, who was a test pilot from Goldsboro. We also have Johnny Grant, who was the longtime honorary mayor of Hollywood, California. And then some other people that you might not recognize but are important, like William Turner Faircloth, who was a local lawyer and the he was the Chief Justice of the North Carolina Supreme Court for many years.
I see Andy Griffith, I see John Wooten's picture, I see Troutwine, I see the name, I see several names up there that are familiar, and a lot of people who know the history of the city and the county will recognize those names and certainly understand how these people made it to the Wayne County Museum Wall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
As we move on across the room, we see, of course, there's pictures of there's a display of dolls set up. Where do those dolls come from? Over here on the right.
The dolls actually were donated decades ago to the Wayne County Historical Association, and they're late 19th century.
Mm-hmm.
They're called bisque dolls, and that was a type of porcelain that was used.
Of course, I see some antique radios there, which is always nice.
Audio equipment is always good. That's something I'm a fan of.
Right. Moving throughout the building here in the back room, I see an enormous display of military set up.
We do. We have a whole room set up for military history in Wayne County, going back to the Revolutionary War up to the present.
Right. Now, some of those iphotos that you might see there, some from you mentioned the Civil War. You see a lot of, in fact, depictions of General Lee and his generals.
And we also, I guess the centerpiece would be a diorama that was made by Randy Sauls, who had a big impact on the Battle of Goldsboro Bridge, rediscovering that site and promoting it. And he made that diorama years ago, and it's quite impressive.
It's very impressive, and I strongly encourage anyone who has any sort of inkling of or desire to know more about the history of this area. The diorama tells a lot just by looking at it. You can tell what's going on with the history of the Battle of Goldsboro Bridge. But also in that room, you have articles from around the area from World War I.
World War I, we have an interesting collection of things that were donated by the family of David Prince. He was a World War I veteran here from Wayne County. Was a highly decorated soldier. Actually, tragically came back from World War I, survived that, and then died while trying to save somebody from drowning. He drowned himself.
Oh my goodness. But you also have in that room, you have a lot of uniforms.
We do, particularly World War II uniforms. All of them worn by servicemen from Wayne County in World War II.
And I see actually in the display cases there, I see ammunition.
We do. We have ammunition, and that's something that you can find from the Civil War era throughout Wayne County. Soldiers oftentimes dropped that stuff as they were trying to put it in their pockets, and we've collected quite a bit of it.
Right, there's quite a bit of it in there, but I also see hanging on the wall a lot of pictures. I see President Lincoln from the Union, and of course President Davis from the Confederacy. Pictures on the wall. I see also a bugle back there. Does the bugle have a history? Do we know where that came from?
The bugle is a 19th century military bugle. It was donated by a local man.
Okay. All right, but moving on through that side of the building, there's a tremendous amount of history on display in the Wayne County at War room.
Yes.
I guess you could call it. Tell me about that dollhouse. That's gorgeous.
The dollhouse was made by a local woman. Her name was Marjorie Patrick, and that was something she did her entire life. She took her about 20 years. She started in the early 90s. She actually died recently, unfortunately from cancer. This was something that she wanted to get done before her death, and she did finish it, and after her passing it was donated to us.
It's just absolutely beautiful. The detail is just astounding.
It is incredible.
Also, tell me about this. We're standing by a table here. Tell me about this table. We have the details on this. I see Pentagon Heroes here as highlighted. This is actually a piece of limestone from the September 11th, 2001 from the Pentagon. Is that right?
It was after the Pentagon was struck. Pieces of the limestone from the facade were taken off and given to groups all across the country, and there was a local group of Wayne County veterans that applied to get a piece, and they were granted it, and they graciously donated it to us.
Brantley, I see here in the foyer, the main room at the entrance, you have the statue of the Lady in the Park. Is that the original?
That is the original. It was put up in Herman Park in 1916. The money that went to making it was donated by the Wheel family, who owned Wheel's department store. Right. And it sat in Herman Park at the fountain until 2003, when they took it down and replaced it with a new one. She was starting to show her age.
Starting to show her age. Now, there's an urban legend, if you will, about her losing her head. Is there you know anything about that?
I've heard stories that she did lose her head. Supposedly in the 1960s, somebody threw a basketball at her head and it came off. I doubt that would have happened. But you can, I know. But if you come in and look at her neck, you can actually see where her head looks like it was reattached.
Oh, okay. Very interesting. So on display here, this is a statue, but she's a very heavy statue. What is this? I mean, it's not polite to ask a lady what she weighs, but any idea what the weight is on this?
Well, this lady weighs probably on the order of 600-700 pounds. It's a bronze statue, cast statue, and it's also got an iron base. It's heavy, and I hope we don't ever have to move it again.
Oh no! Well, she's beautiful. That's wonderful. Brantley, when is the museum open for visitors?
We are open on Tuesday through Saturday, 11 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon, and by special appointment, if you've got a group and it doesn't fit into that time, you can give us a call at 734-5023.
The Wayne County Historical Association supporting the Wayne County Museum, or owns the Wayne County Museum, and how is the Historical Association supported?
The Historical Association is supported. We get grants. Most of it is supported by membership, and you can check our website. It's WayneCountyHistoricalNC.org for more information, or you can stop by and pick up a membership application.
Great. Brantley Parton, thank you so much for giving us the tour, and I appreciate it very much.
And we're back. Wayne, that was very interesting. I like it being narrated sometimes and just seeing the different exhibits and all that are inside the museum.
And that dollhouse is just an amazing place to see. You could almost put yourself inside that dollhouse. It is so intricate in detail. And
the exhibits are ever changing.
Always changing. And in fact, while I was in there, when I walked in fact, I'll go ahead and tell you, I walked in on Brantley and he was working. And
changing an exhibit?
Yeah, and I said, you know, I was driving by and I said, I have got to walk in and talk to Brantley. And he wasn't expecting me. And he was taking exhibits, he was taking inventory, he was working hard in there, as he always does. But, and I missed Chris. Chris is out of town for a few days, but he'll be back here.
I'm glad you went by
today. Yeah, I am too, and it was good. So if you get a chance, it's at 116 North William Street. It's the old USO building from years ago. It's a fascinating place to go. 116 near the post office downtown.
Very good.
All right.
Very good. Wayne, we're also this Saturday offering an intermediate genealogy workshop.
Oh, I love genies.
Well, I don't know if you're going to meet them, but you can learn more about your genealogy. Saturday, 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. The cost is $15 for adults, $10 for students and friends of the archives.
Okay.
The location is at Governor Charles B. Aycock Birthplace out in Fremont.
Boy, there's another place.
Absolutely. It says, join the staff from the State Archives of North Carolina and the Government and Heritage Library, part of the State Library of North Carolina, for an intermediate genealogy workshop at Charles B. Aycock Birthplace in Fremont. This session will go beyond the basics of genealogy. It will focus on how to overcome genealogical roadblocks, how to effectively analyze the documents, and the list goes on and on, all about your past.
Wow.
That's right. So that is this Saturday, 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, Charles B. Aycock Birthplace.
Very interesting.
That's right.
You like coins?
Coins, yes, I like coins.
Do you ever look at coins?
Yes, I look at some
There's
coins.
so many coins out there. Some are more popular than others as far as collectibles and that sort of thing. But if you ever get a look at the coins. Which coin, and they all have a person on them. All right. Which coin, all coins have persons on them on the obverse side, pointing or facing to the left.
Right.
No, left.
I agree.
Oh. Which coin does not? Which coin has a person on the obverse side facing to the right instead of to the left? There's only one.
No, I'll say quarter. I don't know.
That's a good answer.
But it's wrong.
That's wrong. The penny with Abe Lincoln, if you think about it, Lincoln is facing to the other side. And there's a lot of theory about why that happened. You know, the theory is that, well, he knew he was going to die, so he's facing the wrong direction or something like that. All that's baloney. The Lincoln penny came out in 1909, in
Right.
the 100th anniversary of Abe Lincoln's birth. And he's facing to the right because that's a depiction that was copied from a plaque of Lincoln's face. That's the only reason there. It's a very simple explanation.
Nice little piece of trivia to know.
There you go.
Ask your neighbor and surprise them with all your knowledge.
There you go. There you go. Lots of stuff. Well, who's coming up? Let's take a look at tomorrow's program.
Tomorrow we have, let's see, tomorrow's Tuesday, we have the Battle of Goldsboro Bridge Part 3. That is the last part.
Right.
And then we also will be completing the program with Dr. Stephen Peters. You spoke with him from Cherry Hospital. And Wayne, what did you guys talk about?
We talked about several things. We talked about post-holiday depression and what people go through after the holidays.
And what to do about it?
And what to do about it. We also talked a little bit about, we touched on what's going through a person's mind, a person who is in a violent situation where they, what causes a person to pick up a weapon and hurt other people. We talk about that, and Dr. Peters is very knowledgeable. It's very interesting. Wait till you hear the program.
And didn't you talk a little bit about the changes that are taking place with Dorothea Dix and how that affects Cherry Hospital?
We did, and it's to the advantage of Wayne County. Even though Dorothea Dix Hospital was a great institution, we benefited from its closing here in Wayne County. We talked
so don't
about
give
that.
away too much.
No, I won't tell you too much. Okay, my lips are sealed. Anyway, all that's coming up tomorrow.
That's right. So thank you so much for joining us. We hope you're learning more every day about what's happening locally right here in your community. Until tomorrow, I'm Kim Best.
And I'm Wayne Alley. 7 o'clock tomorrow morning here on WGTV Today.